Welcome to the Burnt or Buttered Podcast. I'm Toast.
And I'm Stetson, and this week we are reviewing Obsession. And whoa.
Wild one.
Yeah, I've been hearing all the hype. One thing I want to kind of get out of the way right away.
Yeah.
Wasn't that scary?
Maybe not for you, man.
I don't know. All the like reviewers when they're interviewing what's his name?
Curry Barker.
They're like, this was I couldn't even sleep last night. This was the scariest movie I've seen in a long time. I don't think it was a scary movie. I think that it was a exciting movie.
I do feel like it fits in the psychological horror like genre.
Not like stay up at night. Oh, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared that there's going to be an obsessed girl out there.
Yeah, you probably won't ever have that issue.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, there was like so many interviews where it was like, I couldn't sleep last night. I'm like, what part of that movie made you not sleep?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like there weren't like a lot of jump scares. Like, you knew that it was kind of a possession story, but yeah, I guess it didn't feel like it wasn't like a slasher film or anything.
No, there was like, I'm thinking of like a paranormal, like real scary where it's just like, oh, something can get me, or even like, Saw, or Jeepers Creepers, like those movies where you're just like, you're checking rear view mirror a little bit, on the way home. This one was definitely not that way for me.
Yeah, I guess it's more just a cautionary tale than anything, about like nice guys.
And you would know all about that one.
People do describe me as very nice. Nice on the eyes,
We got our own Ryan Gosling over here, huh?
Not anymore. I put away that beanie.
All right, well, let's jump into this thing. We have a little bit of different of a format that we've been doing over this last year, where we kind of bring up a discussion point. We talk about that point and, kind of move through the movie that way. And so, yeah, let's dive into our first point.
From the previews, what were you expecting out of this movie?
I purposely didn't watch any previews.
Oh, you pulled a me.
Well, what movie did we see? Hokum. There was like a little bit of the preview, and I was like, I'm not watching it. Because I saw so many interviews where it was just like, oh, this is a really great movie. Mm-hmm. This is unexpected, like awesome.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen anything about it at that point, and so I really wanted to go into it as blind as I possibly could. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's called Obsessed. Like, you saw a dude and a girl, and you're like, okay, she's going to become crazy obsessed somehow. That's all that I expected going in.
Yeah. Yeah, from the previews, all I expected, I didn't expect her to be, possessed necessarily. I just expected her to be obsessed. And so that aspect of it really surprised me, mm-hmm. that it was kind of like a possession movie rather than just she flips a switch and now she's super into the guy.
Yeah, that was unexpected. But yeah, I guess I never really thought about it in that way, where it was some sort of a possession where she's literally asking, to be killed, because she's trapped inside somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and
the actual Nikki.
And the phone call, which was a funny cameo from Curry Barker, mm-hmm. the director-writer, to be the voice on the other end of the phone.
And he does his weird guy is always perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He has like the face for it. He has the voice for it. It's always just like, mm-hmm. he's the perfect weird person.
Yeah. Like, I've been watching his shorts for a long time. Mm-hmm. And so it's funny to have seen him, grow in his storytelling over these years. And even from seeing all those things that I really enjoyed and had a good time watching, I wouldn't say they're all tough watches. You watch them and you're like, this is pretty uncomfortable, but it's funny. It's topical. It's kind of like what he did with this, where he takes these tropes, or stereotypes that you see in real life, and he spins them into something horrible.
Yeah, I feel like he really does have like a pulse on the human condition, in the way of like he is really able to tell a story through words that are unspoken while speaking words. Like there's always something behind the words that someone's saying, and he has a really good way of illuminating that.
Yeah. I listened to an interview or a podcast with him and his dad, which was pretty interesting. And one of the things that they talked about was that his dad went through a couple different career choices. He was an English teacher, a reporter, and then also a photographer and writer, and then went back to school and became a psychiatrist. And so Curry Barker was pretty young when his dad became a psychiatrist, and his dad wanted to normalize, talking about these kinds of things. So his boys were really interested in what was going on at the psychiatric treatment place that he was working at. And he would come home and tell them, like, here are some symptoms of this, and
interesting.
Because when I was watching this, I was thinking, I can't write stuff like that. I can't even imagine characters like this because I don't have that experience with people who are going through psychosis, And so I was wondering the whole time, how does he have this experience? He's a pretty young guy, and he's got, like you said, a pulse on humanity. And so it was really interesting to hear him and his dad talk about, like, this is why that came out.
Wow. Yeah, you can definitely see it in his writing and just the way that he portrays humans in general. I did think that this movie itself was really just one of the most deep, kind of thought-provoking movies as far as going into a single person's psyche. And we're getting out of the first question here of what were the expectations. But yeah, there's so many layers to peel back as you're watching this movie. And that was really interesting to me to see how he was able to write on purpose the points that we were supposed to hit. And I feel like I really I picked up the points every time that he laid them down, which I feel like a lot of directors are trying to do that, but we don't always get the cue.
Yeah. One other thing that sparked because of what you said was that when he's writing, and one of the things that he realized from doing all the shorts that he's done over the years and having that instant feedback from people with the comments is that the audience is smart. And so he wants to treat the audience as intelligent. So he's not trying to spell everything out too. He's letting you infer things.
Yeah, he's doing the exact opposite of Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. You actually have to pay attention to the movie, know? And it pulls you in too.
Well, and I think like just his directing chops in the way of the way that this was acted, and we'll probably get into this more in other discussion points, but the performances that were given, there was a lot of dynamic things happening inside of the performance, like especially the Nikki character. I mean, we see waves of emotion and changes and just snap, responses and things like that. And I feel like that just can't be easy to direct, or pull out of somebody. And it was pretty impressive, like what he was able to pull out.
I mean, with that, let's go into who was your favorite character or who was the least likable, and why.
Man, you want to go first?
Yeah. I feel like the Nikki character, both sides were portrayed incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
From the second that I heard the first monologue from Bear, I was like, I hate this guy. And both of them just felt like people you actually know.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot of things early on in the movie to make you know who these people are,
Mm-hmm.
and to make them so relatable that by the end of the movie they feel like people that you're like, you may not be friends with them, but they're in your periphery. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you've met these people, and he did that with all the main characters.
I do think that like one thing that he did very well is he allowed enough room for you to see yourself in certain aspects of it. Like when he is, the first exchange when they go to the bar as friends, it's all the work people or whatnot. And he's just like all he can think about is his opportunity to tell her how he feels. He's just waiting for that perfect moment over and over and over again. He's like, is it now? Is it now? Is it now? Am I supposed to do it now? Like, would it work now?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think that feeling was portrayed really well because everybody, at least I feel like, I know I felt that at one point where you are super nervous to approach this girl, or you become friends with this girl that you're attracted to and you're into, and you're trying to break that line. You're trying to get out of the friend zone of some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, I don't want to ruin the friendship, but I, want to try and like break out of this, friend zone. And I thought that he did that really well at the beginning, where it was just like constant. That's all he could think about was like, how am I going to like do this? And also it like gave us so much depth into him in the way of that he was just too cowardly always. Like he was never brave enough just to even say the words.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting how he starts out as the obsessed one,
Mm-hmm.
and then by the end he comes back around, but he starts out so obsessed that he can't think of anything else. He's not thinking about, why does my friend not want me to ask her out,
Yeah.
And also the other thing is we've seen this character before in movies, like in the early 90s, that character was the hero of the story. You would see this like nerdy dude he's actually a good dude. Like if anyone would just give him a chance, he'd be like the best boyfriend. And there's no redeeming qualities of this person throughout the whole movie, but they get the happy ending, And so this was such an interesting take on, that nice guy trope, who normally we would see as just a nice guy who deserves a lot better than this, but he literally did it to himself,
And there's so much that is unsaid about this nice guy too, because I mean, all the prescriptions and stuff in his cabinet are I'm inferring that it's his mom's, and his mom's dead because she's obviously
grandma.
I didn't get that. I didn't know that. Was there a point in the movie where he says like, "Oh, my dead grandma"? Like,
when she comes over to his house and she's like, "Oh, it's bigger than your last place," he says, "Yeah, it was my grandma's."
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't pick that up, but I mean,
we can't all be as quick as me,
I saw it from the the labels and stuff like that. I was like, oh, like something's happened here, like obviously like there's some sort of sadness, or like he's inheriting this place from someone that died, and there's kind of like a lot of death like around this. And one thing that I'm not like 1000% sure on is the cat. The cat gets into the pills somehow.
And also opened up 2 cans of tuna somehow. Like,
yeah, gets into the pills that were in the cabinet, eats all of them, dies, and originally I thought, when she brings up the cat as an excuse to like hang out with him again, and then she brings up, the fake dad cancer thing, I was like, was she already trying to get his attention somehow? Or I just thought about this scenario. Was it Sarah that poisoned the cat?
I don't know. I think that's a few too many steps to leap.
I feel like the cat was a way to like try and get closer to him, because like
I could see it, but I don't know that was necessarily like written in.
I need to know. I need to know why the cat had to die, other than that she fed him the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when she did get possessed, that was like an instant in for her, you know? So I think that it just, for me, how it kind of felt was that it put him in a state where he was already more willing to put himself out there, or like, he made up his mind tonight's tonight because my cat's dead, you're moving away, like this is, I have to make some action. And then he still couldn't do it, but I hate that guy.
What a loser. I know. And then even his wish was just like a crazy wish. I wish she was in love with me more than any other person in the world.
Yeah.
I was like, dang. Not just like, I wish she would give me a chance. Like
hey, you gotta wish you go big, man.
I wish that I could just get out of the friend zone.
Dude, like his buddy instantly, I wish I had $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like there are other things you can do rather than just like fabricate somebody's feelings for you.
I think like that's one thing that I liked about the idea of this movie is it's the anti-wish wish. Like every other wish movie, if there's a genie or someone granting wishes, you aren't allowed to ask for someone to fall in love with you ever.
Yeah.
And this movie allows us to see like the result of that wish.
Yeah. Crazy.
But characters wise, back to the
I mean, Nikki's performance and Bear's, they were both really good. But the actress Indy Navarrete, she did like she could change the structure of her face with these different expressions that she was doing.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, it was wild. When she was in the corner, that was freaky.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't see her at first until she talks, and then you see her. Like I want to kind of watch it again and see if she's actually just there the whole time, or like, she's cut into the.
I saw her the whole time.
Oh, did you?
At first, she was standing so still, and there was another like cardigan that was hanging up. So I thought that it was just a cardigan hanging up at first.
Yeah,
but she's there the whole time.
Toast has got some eagle eyes. But yeah, when she speaks and you see her, like, oh my gosh, that's a human being over there. And then she steps out, goes back, steps in,
does
like,
the backwards walk, and
yeah,
freaky.
There's some interesting choices with her character in general. And it goes back to kind of the directing side of it, of just like seeing that walk, or seeing that like weirdness from this possession/obsession. Interesting.
Yeah. Crazy.
I thought that Sarah did really well too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they all did good. I can't remember. Do you know his buddies?
In the movie, his name's Ian. In real life, his name's Cooper, but I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, Cooper. And he's been in all of his shorts and everything with him, and kind of is the guy that started, filming stuff with him. Yeah. From the very beginning. And I thought he did really well too. I thought that he was kind of the weakest out of all the actors, but he's always very believable. Yeah. I feel like the only criticism that I could give him, because I've seen him in shorts and he's always really, really good, was I feel like he kind of overacted a little bit in this one. I feel like he kind of did too much. And I feel like he was just doing a little bit too much because it was a movie. I feel like if he would have just relaxed a little bit more, then that would have came out. But I thought it was like really, really good. But yeah, it just felt like a little bit forced from him.
I don't know. I felt like he felt super believable as your douchebag friend.
Yeah, and well, what was interesting about them all working in the same place, them all, is we've all lived this before.
Yeah.
We've all been, right out of high school, working in a scenario where you're all like younger, everyone's kind of chatting up each other, relationship dynamics out of, work dynamics. Everyone kind of flirts with everyone in some way, shape, or form. And so, yeah, all the characters felt like someone that you actually knew. That was really believable.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's not a lot of movies that really pull me into a world as well as this one did, in that way.
Yeah. And with that, let's go on to the next question. What did you think overall? Color grading, soundtrack, score, all that stuff, pacing.
I thought everything looked really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
The only spot that you could tell that it was $1 million budget was when Sarah's face is getting slammed into the brick.
Oh.
You're just like, yep, this was a little bit lower budget.
I thought it looked crazy.
I thought it looked crazy, but it looked, like you were slamming a mannequin's face, into a brick. Where I feel like if they would have had a little bit more of a higher budget, that would have looked a little bit more believable as like human. But either way, it freaking was gross. I mean, insane.
Yeah. I mean, the sound effects that they did for it, I feel like sold the visuals for me.
Golly.
But yeah, like you said, it all looked really good. Color grading was good. The way that they lit certain shots was really cool. Specifically when she comes over to his house to apologize. That shot where she's kind of a silhouette, but her eyes are glowing.
Yeah.
That was such a cool
bright
shot.
Eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked a shot where he was calling somebody on the phone. He's sitting next to his bed, and it's blue lit. You can kind of see the moonlight, and then he turns on, the practical light inside the room, and then it lights it all up orange, and it just looked really good. I mean, I could just tell there was a lot of thought in how it was lit, and then also I liked the point that they turned on the light. It was supposed to be, it changed the mood of, like, it was like a decision-making point, like, he was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go. Or I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember it was like, oh, that's him switching his mind to staying, to like being sad, to, oh, I have an opportunity here.
Yeah. The soundtrack was pretty cool too. I think all of it or most of it was original music from the composer that they hired, who has worked on a couple other things with Curry Barker as well. And he's never done a movie though. So that was cool.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I didn't ever notice the soundtrack. But I think that's like a good thing. I think it added to everything. It was never distracting.
Yeah, it didn't take you out of the moment.
Yeah, I can't remember. There was a few movies that we saw last year that were like, the score ruined the movie for me.
Yeah.
And this one,
or like Begonia, where you're constantly thinking about the score because they'll have those like screaming loud.
Yeah.
Or what was the other one that was like random? Oh, Smashing Machine. You remember that?
Smashing Machine was crazy.
Yeah. Kind of worked, but it was crazy.
Too much.
Did it remind you of any other movies or any other books or anything like that?
Oh, man. I feel like it did, but just stylistically it did. Like not necessarily the movie itself, but like it reminded me of like Talk to Me. It had the same kind of high school feeling, like, camaraderie. I don't know, like it felt young that way. Happy Death Day, kind of like stylistically it felt, like that, where I feel like those are the two movies that kind of pop into my head of, I see stylistically similarities to it, but I do feel like this was like very much, it felt like its own film.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah, I'd agree. It definitely felt original. Bear kind of felt like Joe Goldberg from You.
I could see that. Yeah.
And then like the overall story kind of felt similar vibes to like Get Out to me, where I guess same idea where like somebody steals your body, you know, but you're still kind of trapped in there, and so it was like those things, but in the best ways, you know, where I'm never gonna root for Joe Goldberg or for Bear, but like you're engaged in the story because they're such interesting people.
They're real. They feel real. Yeah. One thing that I think is interesting about this story in general is like, I wouldn't mind seeing a version of this movie like 100 years ago, you know, like, or like, when was this wishing stick made? You know, like I could see something like that where we're going back and seeing like, because it sounds like everyone's complaining about their wishes, so it's never a good thing. Like whenever you get,
except for that shop owner guy, he apparently had it figured out.
That's true. But yeah, it would be interesting to see. Like I wouldn't mind seeing something like that, because you have the phone call with, you know, Curry Barker.
Yeah.
Corey Barker and Curry Barker. And it's interesting that there's someone on that answers the phone and that already knows Nikki, knows that they're trapped, like has the keys of the kingdom to whatever the wishing well does.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to me to kind of see, like, does somebody eventually like find where that is and try and take it down, or like, you know, I don't know.
There's a lot of possibilities.
This world is interesting to me. You know, that part of the movie made it so much more dynamic, where it's just like, oh, there's like a whole universe attached to this wishing stick.
Yeah.
It's not just like some fairy dust thing. Like it's like, oh, there's a number that I can call. Really, you know.
That part kind of reminded me of The Substance as well. You know, when she's calling to ask questions about the thing, and well, do you want a refund? You know, no. I want to keep going, but can we like change it a little bit?
Yeah. That conversation was interesting, where he's like, so are you calling like because you want like to unwish your wish? And he's like, no. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll unwish it. Sorry, we don't do that.
We don't really do that.
I was just like trying to, you know, I knew where you were going.
Yeah.
So
I was advancing the conversation. Yeah. I thought it was written really well too. Like there were a lot of interesting things, and there's a lot of, I've seen a couple like Easter eggs on TikTok and stuff that people talk about, which were pretty interesting things. Not even going to mention them though. Not even going to tell you what they were.
I think we have to discuss, or at least bring up, her book Monologue. Holy moly.
Imagine being at a party and somebody stands up and just does that.
You're just like, that came from your head?
We're not going back to normal after that.
You're just like, that's what your books are about?
That is insane.
It's like a Hansel and Gretel story that is just insane.
Yeah, NC-17 or something. Like,
oh my goodness.
Crazy.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, should we rate this thing, or what do you think?
I just have one more thing to say, a little behind the scenes stuff that I learned from the interviews I listened to with Curry. There was a different ending originally.
Oh.
So they shot several takes of the original ending, and the one that's in this movie is a one take that they didn't think they were going to use, where that's the only take of the way that it ends that they shot. In the original one, she ends up offing herself.
Oh.
And it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet ending, you know, which when I was watching it, that's totally what I was feeling like.
I really would have been disappointed if that happened. Like, I was expecting it, and I was like, that's so dumb.
Yeah.
You know, that ruins it for me.
Mm-hmm.
That everyone dies, you know, and she had no control over anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone else had some sort of control besides Sarah. You know,
they made their choices basically.
yeah. But yeah, Nikki had no say in any of it, but she's also going to go to jail for the rest of her life.
Right. So it's almost like that's why he wanted to end it that way. But I guess his dad and a producer told him that it was more devastating if she lives and has to face the consequences of Bear's actions.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's all I got.
All right. Well, let's rate this thing. What do you got it?
It was such an interesting watch. You know, it's not one that is comfortable to watch. It's really uncomfortable, which was his intention. He said in another interview, he mentioned that the new jump scare for this generation is, I didn't like that feeling. Like, so he purposely made it uncomfortable. And it was, and he succeeded at that while telling an engaging story, a relatable story. And, I think it's a 4.5.
Dang.
Yeah.
4.5. I agree with everything that you said. I think that it was well written. I think that it was shot really well. It was an interesting story. I think that it also was very polarizing. Like, our friend Sammy saw it with us, and Sammy got out of the movie, and she hated it. But I think Sammy hated it for all the reasons that Curry wanted her to hate it. Mm-hmm. You know, like, and I think that's a win.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so, yeah, I feel like I have to give this thing I think a 4.5 is right there. I was thinking like between 4.2 and 4.5.
This never happens. We never have the same opinion.
It was good. I mean, it makes me excited to see more of what he's got in the future. And I was listening to an interview that he did as well, and his next movie that he's working on is called like Anything But Ghost. Mm-hmm. And that sounds super interesting, about two ghost hunters that are con artists, really good at being con artists, and then they end up actually in a haunted house.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what happens. I think that this was, for a first feature film, insane.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you can't get much better as a first feature film.
No.
You know, like, it's really exciting to see what there was tiny things that I was like, oh, this kind of shows how that this is his first feature film. Like, tiny things that I was noticing where I was like, oh, you could tighten that up. And I can't even think of them over the top of my head, but as I was watching it, I was like, oh, that could be a little bit better. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in the future. And I was glad that the movie actually kind of lived up to the hype that I was hearing around it.
Where you go in a lot of times after people have said how great a movie is, and it lets you down.
Mm-hmm. Too many times. It happens too many times.
You might be too gullible.
All right. Well, let us know what you guys thought about this one. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.